This week's topic was drive time. We've already discussed how to set it up in your system from an administrator's perspective, how to enable it, and we also talked about how to implement it from the field and what your crew leaders and your technicians need to do on their mobile application to ensure that their drive time is tracked. Now I want to talk about how to implement that in your company and why it's important to you. Now there is one type of company that won't get much value out of this feature, and that's a company that pays 100% commission for all of their jobs. If you're not losing any money, if it takes a longer time to drive to a job than another, then this is probably not for you. You don't have to use it. But if you do pay hourly in any way, you're going to get tremendous value out of this one feature, and that's tracking drive time. So let's take the first perspective, and that's from a payroll perspective. If you have your technicians and your crew leaders tracking their drive time from the mobile app, it's going to save you a ton of time on the back end getting your payroll processed. Because in your timesheets within Service Autopilot, it will clearly lay out for you by employee, by each day of the week, how much time they spent on each job, but also how much time they spent driving to each job individually. So you can then take that data, export it, and do whatever type of math you need to on it. If you pay a different rate, if you pay commission for the job but hourly to drive, whatever the case is there, you have the data that you need to do your payroll. And you won't have to spend a bunch of time taking timesheets from people in the field, putting them into the system. It'll just save you a ton of time. But probably the biggest benefit is when it comes to job costing. And this is super beneficial regardless if you're doing one-time jobs or if you're doing recurring maintenance. Now, it's perhaps more beneficial if you are doing recurring maintenance because it will help you with a wider range of decisions. But there are reports within Service Autopilot related to job costing that the drive time to each job is one of the most important factors. And what these reports tell you is exactly how profitable you are on each job that you do. So it will take the time that it takes to drive to a job, it will take the time it took to complete the job, and it will figure how much money you paid for that job. And it will even break down details to you in terms of percentage of your gross margin that went straight to windshield time, percentage that went to labor time on the job. It gives you more detail as well about product cost and things like that. But like I said, drive time is one of the most important elements of those reports. So the benefit of running those job cost reports is that it will help you make smarter business decisions. And like I said, it's going to help you make decisions across a wide range of topics. Number one, it will help you with your scheduling decisions. You can take those reports and evaluate how your crews are doing, how they compare against one another. Maybe you have newer employees that are struggling with their services and you need to evaluate perhaps putting them with a more experienced technician to kind of learn a little bit more of what's going on. Maybe you are evaluating certain routes versus others. Maybe you have really good route density, a topic that we discussed last week. Maybe you have good route density a few days a week, but you have this one day that's just killing you. And you can look at those reports and see, okay, there it is. It's drive time. We're spending too much time driving from one job to the next. And again, there's our keyword, drive time. It's required that your technicians and your crew leaders track that drive time in order for those reports to be accurate for you. But then, perhaps more importantly, and this is a topic that we just talked about last week as well, in terms of route density, that job cost detail report can really help you evaluate where you're focusing marketing efforts. Which routes are most profitable to you? What type of customer is most profitable to you in terms of a really large commercial property versus maybe a smaller residential property? You'll be able to see exactly what your margins are on each one of those. And again, drive time plays a huge factor into that. So if you start implementing this in your business, I promise you'll get more accurate reporting on your job cost as well as your payroll, and it's going to start making you more money. Thanks for watching.